Great. Amazing. Thanks, Tracy. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. So I'm just going to go straight into one of my most favorite topics. And, as Tracy just said, she experienced this and, welcome to the world's biggest club, because we all experience this, but really it's not a topic that's spoken about a lot. So I hope by the end of my presentation, you'll have a really deep understanding of yourself a little bit more and understand why we do these things, especially when it comes to our mental and metabolic health. So one of the things is, why do we have to ask ourselves, if sabotage is detrimental, why do we repeat it? And simply put, what gets rewarded gets repeated. So sabotage fills a need and a void of some kind in most people. Now, when we talk about a need or a void, generally they're an external or an internal void that we're trying to fill externally. Okay, so we need to discover what that void is and how to learn new behaviors to pattern that void and actually to fill that void internally versus externally. Okay, so that's one of the big keys. So where I want to take you back firstly is really understanding what I mean when we talk about voids and how we actually end up in this situation. So our precognitive commitment programming is what I call our 0 to 7 years of age. So anything that we learn through sight, sound, visual, texture, taste, energetically, we absorb everything. You do not have the ability, and your head is like a little video camera and it records everything. So we actually absorb energy, and we also absorb the incoming data from anyone in authority to us between those ages of 0 to 7. And guess what happens? We learn patterns through visualization, what we hear, what we feel, what we taste, what we smell. Okay. So when we learn that way as a child, those programs become a default pattern for us, especially when it comes to my most favorite topic, when we talk about how we learn to eat emotionally, or how we actually learn to use things outside of ourselves to feed or fuel a feeling. So we learn that as children. So anyone listening would have experienced as a kid, if you've cried or something's happened, or you get given a treat, then you get rewarded for your emotion, but you're getting rewarded and anchored outside of yourself. So the value is actually being placed outside of yourself and not inside yourself, as in valuing your feelings and going through them instead of going around them. But guess what? As children, we don't know that. This is just what happens when we learn through process through our caregivers. The other thing is that we have to understand all of the information that you receive is just thoughts, feelings, and reactions and opinions of that person's own emotional voids and or their own self-image. And a lot of the time, 95% of human beings operate from a very negative self-image. And that also creates self-worth issues. It also creates self-esteem issues. Now, one of the biggest things also, the most magical thing around your mind, it is a process. Okay, if it can learn one process, but even though you may have used that process for 40, 50 years, you can change the process. One of the key things that I'll be sharing today is why we are our unconscious conditioned values. Okay. The reason why we do a lot of our self-sabotaging behaviors is because of our value systems, which are also given in this precognitive phase. Okay, so what I mean by precognitive, it means that you don't have the ability to filter out anything that you like, you don't like, that doesn't serve you. Okay. So what I want to go through, and this is one of the most important and crucial things around human beings, is understanding, what do I value? Okay. So a lot of the time when we ask ourselves that question, it always goes outside of ourselves. We value everything within our external environment. Okay. So I'm just going to go through what the definition